Everything. Until we meet again. She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path, unfortunately, you're the only one who can pull this off. I don't make the rules. I wish I did. Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going? Somehow I doubt that, but fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice, he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all. You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. When I said everyone, I meant everyone. That's a pretty large group to just condemn to death over a single princess. And, last I checked, you're part of everyone too, so if you think about it, walking up to that cabin and slaying her is really in your best interests as well. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess. There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light. In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be. Wait, what's going on? But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do, otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness, but it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. I can assure you that you're not dead and that the princess has yet to end the world, otherwise you wouldn't be here. And to answer your question, you're here to slay the princess. I literally told you that a second ago. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. I don't know, I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience. The entire world ending wasn't enough to get rid of us. I don't think there's much he can do other than object. I wonder what else we can do to ruin his day. If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off. The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky. The world hasn't ended yet, and you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead. You know I can tell when you're lying, right? Please take this seriously. I am begging you. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind. The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense. The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway? No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that. Not when everything here is so wrong. Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world. And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, ho, ho, ho! You've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves? Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm. How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind. Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird. What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard. Okay, I'm fine. Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task. You take the blade from the table. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Okay, fine, you took the knife, but you really shouldn't hold it like that. Then how are we supposed to hold it? The other way, thumb at the bottom. Will look much cooler and more serious if we hold it with our thumb at the bottom. It really doesn't matter how you hold the blade, as long as you have it. Just make a choice. You switch your grip on the blade. Congratulations. Yes! Isn't this so much better? Okay, fine. You're right. This does look a lot better. It really doesn't matter. Just get on with it and deal with the princess already. Ooh, we should look at ourselves. Wouldn't that be fun? You won't be looking at yourself because there isn't a mirror. There's the table and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. You insisting it isn't there just makes me want to look at it even more. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago. And now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a web of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials. Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone down. The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odour that is simultaneously everything and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick, nauseating nothing. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour. Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby. I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die. But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure. And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success? There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day. You step to the right. The path feels soft and reassuring against your feet. The stairs almost seem to cradle you as you make your way down, like they're guiding your heels from one step directly to the next. You barely have to extend any effort to descend, the stairway doing most of the work for you. You don't feel like there's any concern that you might slip or tumble or lose your way. But the further you go, the deeper you sink in. First, it's like a lovely plush carpet, your toes digging down and barely hitting any resistance at all. But soon enough, you're fighting just to keep your knees from sinking out of sight. The softness threatens to swallow you whole, to wrest control of your body and surround you in a false ethereal bliss, pretending to save you from the cruelties of choice and consequence. It's slow going, but you manage to fight against the overwhelming urge to fall back into comfort and nothingness, the very struggle to continue forward consuming your every thought. You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then vanish, until the only things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and emotions of the journey, a continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten. Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you okay?
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs. Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways. The princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems normal.
You can call me Princess, if you'd like. You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. And where there was once just one of her, there is now another. We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back? You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened last time? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. But I'm not going to waste any more time prying out details if you're going to be so irritating about it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it? Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them. If it's not already too late. You have a job to do here and you need to do it now. Oh, new plan! Let's see if we can make even more of her.
I don't know what happened to you, but you look like you're in one piece now. But I understand. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart too. It's so terrifying down here. But at least now you're not alone. And I'm not alone either. We're probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way in. You're not really cut out for this, are you? Why are you even here? I don't know why I'm here, but there has to be a reason, right? You don't just lock a princess away in a place like this without a reason. I wish I knew what it was. But you know, right? You have to know. You're the only other person I've ever seen, or at least the only one I can remember. Don't give me false hope. Please just end this already. One way. Don't be coy. We both know why I'm locked away here. I'm a monster, and the second I get out of this place, I'm going to end the entire world.
Okay, this was fun for a bit, but we can't even really interact with her, can we? What's the point of asking questions if all we're going to get is a million answers? Can't even follow what's going on anymore. We need to get out of here. This whole place is making me itch.
Are you looking for the truth? Or are you looking for the right answer? I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. I'm not going to dance for you.
Besides, you already know what I'm going to do.
If you want to put an end to me, then put an end to me.
Not a single real answer. At least aside from Miss Blood and Destruction, it's infuriating, isn't it? Whose buttons are there for us to press? Whose skin is there for us to get under? Not exactly how I'd put it, but I don't disagree. There must be something we can do. Asking questions just seems to make things worse. This is reaching its breaking point. If you don't act now, there will be nothing in here but her. Take a deep breath and focus up. But how do we decide what to do? Can there even be a right choice when all of them are so different? Stop overthinking it. Your drifting thoughts have clearly been part of the reason this situation has gotten out of hand. If you're trying to do the right thing, there's only ever been the one option, and that option is slaying her. Just do something. Do anything. Do all of it, if that's what you want. This place is hell, and it's only getting worse. Wait, that's not right. Go on. You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride. You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. All at once you charge forward, knife beam to slay the princess just as you strike at her bindings and leave her to languish alone. Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess. But this... we can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating. Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all falls apart. I think he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and the others, they just don't fit.
They just don't fit.
We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
We should help her. I think we did this. How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences. It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now.
He's just messing with us, right?
Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again. Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me. Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern. But every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same. I'm sorry. Words are difficult for me. They never fully weave what I wish to say. If you do not like my answers, then you need not ask me questions. The vessels you choose to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say in the spaces between. The vessels are shaped by memories of you, but they are drawn to the edge of the long quiet. To them you are a gate to something more, but they are only thoughts and perspectives. They are not me. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before. I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side, for I would not know your absence. Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward. With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am, and what I am is different from what I was. I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed.
But in this moment, all I want is to know myself and to know you. If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective. You will have your rest in due time, and I am sorry for the burdens I place on you. Those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own. They are useless to us now, inaccessible. The only paths of value are those that are yet untread. These ones are a contradiction. A winding kaleidoscope of paths unwalked. They are stretched into a shape not unlike me, but it is a shape they cannot hold. They will make for a rich and vibrant heart. Do not mourn them, for they will finally get to know themselves. Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. My joy is in seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets. I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her. Don't mention it. It's all part of the job. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess with a warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted enough. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the fire.
She's so coldly beautiful.
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can...
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just... talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
We'll be fine.
I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship. Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
Do you? So, you're not going to share? How pointless. If you want to talk, I'll talk. But this isn't talking. Too long.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her. You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't... well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting. She is. I'm sure of it.
Oh? Have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easier for both of us if you help. And if you don't, I can promise that you'll come to regret that decision.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one. I know you think this is a fair compromise, but it isn't. No one wins here. It's a chance we'll have to take. We can make this work. If we just stay here and keep watch, no one has to die.
You're making a mistake.
You turn your back to the princess and make your way to the stairs.
It won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? Either way, she dropped her mask, didn't she? You can still turn around and finish the job. You'll be the death of all of us, but fine. Have it your way. You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held the blade. Okay, we can make this work. You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door. It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing, wailing voice calling out to you from the other.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out? It's not like this little door will hold for very long anyways. But it's probably a good idea to...
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the princess you saw and more like something out of an... As she violently rattles the door, you do your best to shut her out of your mind.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece by piece. You don't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
It doesn't sound like she's getting any weaker. No, it doesn't.
These aren't threats. These are promises. Sooner or later, you're going to have to sleep. And I'll make sure you never see the light of day again.
You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up against the wall. You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. The ruckus has stopped, and the door to the basement. Where is she?
Thanks for helping me get out of that awful basement.
You try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though your body simply stops working. It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb, and then your feet, and then your legs. Whose side are you on? Yours, of course. But I have a duty to uphold the truth. Lying about the facts of the situation doesn't change them.
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
She steps closer, one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as you feel your organs shutting down one by one.
Or maybe I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. A little green around the gills. What a shame. If you'd only helped me get out of here, we could have done such wonderful things together.
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest.
I'd say better luck next time, but we both know this is the end, don't we?
It can't be. This can't actually be how everything ends. I'm sorry, but it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that, you're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. terrible sense of deja vu. No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
Shh! What if he hears us? That's a very good question, little voice. What if he does hear you? Shit! I think you'll find yourselves very hard-pressed to keep any secrets from me. Not that it matters right now, because like I said, this is the first time we've met. We could go back and forth on this forever, and it won't get you any closer to doing your job and saving the world. So let's just agree to disagree.
You have already committed to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what... Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. We couldn't trust either of you, and as far as I'm concerned, we still can't. All we did was lock her away. And how'd that work out for you? No comment. Well then, congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And your solution is to send us back in there. Do you want us to slay the princess, or do you want the princess to slay us? Obviously, I want you to slay her. One of you poses a threat to the world, and the other doesn't. Anyways, I believe your other question was something along the lines of, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We were killed by the princess, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Speak for yourself. From my perspective, there were plenty of consequences. I'm never going to forget the way she just made us stop working. And that's only scratching the surface. If what you said is true, it begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or have you found yourself in another world altogether? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? If she brought an end to everything and everyone, how are we supposed to stop her? What do you want from us? I want you to succeed. You'll find a way. You're the only one who can. Just be quick about it. Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job, and save the world. She is just a princess. Whatever you think happened to you last time, just get it out of your head before you get to the cabin, and you'll be fine. I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. If you want us to stand a chance against her, we need to be armed with information. What is she really capable of? How are we supposed to stop her? Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to take me at my word. He isn't telling us everything he knows because he doesn't trust us, which means that we can't trust him. Stop talking yourself in neurotic circles and just get to the cabin already. No, you should do anything but that. We know what's waiting for us in that basement. People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things. Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. You can't just goad us into doing something by calling us special. It's manipulative. Why are you trying to manipulate us? I don't know, I kinda like being special. I'm not goading you into doing anything. You already know the princess is dangerous. All I'm trying to say is that you have to be the one to deal with her. I know it doesn't seem fair, but that's just the way it is. And for what it's worth, I know you have it in you to finish the job. We don't. You saw what happened to us last time. We need to leave. Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her...
I don't think lying and cheating is a thing. She was very direct with us last time. Or at least, she was direct with us after we decided to lock her away.
It doesn't matter. Don't trust anyone. The interior of the cabin is plain, the smooth wood of the walls almost featureless. The only furniture of note is a lone table, knocked on its side in the corner of the room. A pristine blade stands between you and the open, inviting basement doorway. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Hold on. What happened to the door? There was a door here last time.
It's just an empty frame.
She's already gotten out, hasn't she? And she's ready for us. She's been waiting. Can't you feel her eyes on us? I'm going to need all of you to pull yourselves together. The princess has not already gotten out. But if you keep getting stuck in your head like this, you're going to struggle to get the job done. So deep breath in, deep breath out. Your task awaits, and only you can do it. You walk up to the wall next to the empty basement door frame. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. Did he make it go away? Clearly there was something in there worth investigating if he wants it hidden so bad. Very different. I'm not the only one who sees her in the window, right? She knows that we're here. Calm down. Maybe the three of you just think everything is different because you haven't been here before. Enough of this past life nonsense. You haven't died, you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. A lot's riding on this. You reach down and pick the blade up off the floor. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good. Steel can't lie to us.
Is it gonna be enough, though? Couldn't you have given us something else? Something, I don't know, better than a knife? Could we have a bomb?
The blade is the only thing you need to finish your task. You're more than capable of pulling this off, so long as you don't lose faith in yourself. Those are the words of someone who knows he's sending us to our death. You cross over the threshold and onto a series of isolated steps, suspended in darkness. More eyes, too. You never mention the eyes. The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're descending into a place that isn't meant for a creature of flesh and blood. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her cruel and playful voice prances up the stairs.
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I.
Okay, we need a game plan. Last time we were here, just being close to her was enough to kill us. It can't be that hard. But then we'd lose our weapon. We'd have to make it count. Otherwise she'd be furious and we'd be defenseless. If a knife is even enough to do anything against something like her in the first place, it'll be enough.
Didn't you hear my warning a minute ago? She can't be trusted. Talking won't do you any good.
Something tells me she isn't going to be very keen on talking anyway.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. As you emerge, you find yourself between two loose rows of white wooden planks suspended in nothingness. A smattering of cobblestones visible against the inky black of the basement mark where the floor should be, forming vague pathways. She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for us to hide. We're completely exposed.
Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place is?
No, I'm not. Somebody needs to be the voice of reason here, and it certainly isn't you.
Excuse me, I'm being incredibly reasonable. You're the one who's just matter-of-factly describing whatever the hell we're looking at like it's an ordinary basement. We're going to die down here. I don't want to die again.
Please stop saying that. You're only going to make things worse. Just pick a direction and start moving.
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter, because either way you go, I'm going to find you.
You turn to the left. A faintly outlined path lies before you.
There you are. I told you I was going to find you.
As the princess approaches, your legs suddenly go numb. Your arms quickly follow.
This is it, isn't it?
And you brought your little knife with you again. Cute.
There has to be a way out of this. Think!
What did you do?
Pull yourself together. She isn't supposed to be like this.
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
Your vision cuts out as your blood begins to coagulate. It's as if every part of your being is coming to a lurching halt. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver. Your lungs pull in a desperate gulp of air as your eyes shoot back open. Nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves.
What are you doing?
I'm working. Do you want this body to function, or do you want... And then experience stops once more as your body reapproaches death.
Okay, whatever you were doing, please just start doing it again.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure that's what you want, or do you want to interrupt me some more? You have seconds left.
Yes, I'm sure.
Heart, lungs, liver. Again, your eyes shoot open as you gasp for breath. Lungs, liver.
Can't decide what you want to do, can you? Oh well, standing there gasping like a fish is more fun than dead. Even if you look ridiculous.
Heart, lungs,
She isn't attacking us.
nerves,
Why?
heart,
The why doesn't matter, she's already proven her ill intent.
heart,
Don't lose sight of your mission. Your weapon is still in your hands. Strike at her and end this before it's too late.
nerves, heart, lungs, liver, 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 nerves, heart.
I am what I am. It's not my fault that you can't handle being around me.
Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart.
Your will concentrates into a single fine point, and you strike out against the princess, ignoring the constant reminders of your breaking body. She doesn't even move as the blade sinks into her heart.
Heart,
We did it. We actually did it.
heart,
You actually went for it. Oh, you're going to regret this. I could be so much more terrible for you than I am now.
nerves,
Can she?
lungs, liver,
We've already seen how she can change. Heart, lungs, liver.
You're not getting those stairs back. I'll see you when you finally decide to die.
heart, lungs, liver, nerves,
She falls to the ground, unmoving.
liver,
Oh. I can stop now, can't I? I can. Finally.
And now that she's gone, you can let us out of here. Right?
But she was the one who controlled this place, wasn't she? And now she's dead. I don't like to think what that means for us.
It means that you're stuck here. Forever. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no, I hate this.
Time passes.
Forever's gonna end. Eventually, right?
No, it won't.
That's the whole point of forever. It doesn't end. I feel sick.
It doesn't have to be forever, though.
What do you mean?
We still have a way out, clutched in our hands.
Are you suggesting we kill ourselves? Won't we be dead? I guess that hasn't stopped us before.
That's a terrible idea. You've already saved the entire world from ruin. Why would you want to die? Because right now, you don't want us to do that. You're right. I don't. But if we've already saved the world, then why does it matter if we die? Why do you care?
I just do. I value life. Every life. Even yours. Especially yours.
Why?
What do you mean, why? I think it's perfectly reasonable to value life.
Exactly. I don't have to answer that.
I'm stuck here with you. I wish I weren't.
Feelings mutual. At least we're all being honest.
That's a grim thought, innit? But I suppose you're right. You are a creature of biology. Something will happen to you before forever comes along. We don't have to starve to death. You have our way out. Use it. More time passes. You're still here. You remove the blade from the princess's body. What exactly are you planning on doing with it? Oh no, what are you doing? You tighten your grip and fling the blade as hard as you can into the void. It's gone. Now you're really stuck here. You mean, other than starving? Right, I mean, other than that. Unlike you, I'm not capable of being lonely. Oh, sure you are. Give it some time without us and I'm sure you'll start feeling lonely. Oh, you could do a lot better than us. Exactly. You'll be fine here. Just come up with a game or something to pass the time. You wait, and then you wait for a little while longer. But eventually the thirst sets in, and the hunger. The darkness of this place prevents you from wholly grasping the context of passing time, but that doesn't stop it from passing. The only things you know for certain are that it's long, and that it hurts. The vastness of your suffering can't be adequately put into words. We really shouldn't have tossed the blade. No, you really shouldn't have. But biology and time are immutable forces, and eventually, long before forever gets the chance to come, you're on a path in the wood. Shit. This really doesn't end, does it? It doesn't matter if we kill her, it doesn't matter if she kills us, it just goes on and on and on and on. Yes, so it does. No, there has to be a way out of here. There just has to be. What if we do what she asked us to last time? What if we just let her leave? Okay, so you've already been here. More than once, even. Great. So you probably already know all about her, and then let me remind you how catastrophic it would be if you helped her leave in any way. If she gets out, the world ends and everyone ends with it, yourself included. Oh, threatening us with death, are we? And why should we be afraid of dying? We've already done it twice. All death has done is shunt us back to these woods, where we're forced to listen to your empty warnings again and again. This place feels a bit different though, doesn't it? I don't even know what I'd call it, but it's definitely not the same path in the woods anymore. That's all the more reason to take this seriously. If the path isn't the same, it means that her influence is spreading, and the world has already started to end. Her influence? I really shouldn't have said that. It'll make your task more difficult. But now it's out, you could always take that information as a sign of goodwill between us and do your job, alright? Then she finds a way out on her own. So, standing around out here is the same as us letting her out. Only we don't have to see her. That's gotta be better, right? No, it's strictly worse.
And why is that?
Because it's cowardly, for starters, and because the unknown is always worse than the known. But really, all you're doing right now is weighing two considerably bad options. The only solution worth considering is slaying her, and whatever delusion is holding you back from doing that is just that, a delusion. If you already managed to end her in some other world, the only reason you'd be here is that you somehow managed to do it wrong.
Suspiciously quick.
If I had to make a wager, I'd say yes and no. Is that supposed to be a riddle? If it is, it's not very good. I haven't met you, but you've clearly met me. It sounds... So, yes, I'm the same me, but ever since the moment we started talking, I'm different. I'm not sure how we're supposed to kill him ourselves, but he's asking for it. Maybe there's some way she can take care of him for us. They've clearly all been through some harrowing experiences. Don't let their baggage influence your decisions. You have the ability to see things clearly. I suggest you use it. You continue down the path towards the cabin. It isn't long before you're steps away from your destination. I don't think you need any words of warning. I think you know what's in there, and despite your protestations, I think you know what you need to do.
I don't like any of our options here. It feels like we're being driven down the tracks to some awful inevitability. There must be something we're missing, something that would make everything make sense. Maybe letting her out really is the answer.
Whatever. You don't want to listen to me? Do it then. Let her out. See what I care. It sounds like somebody's about to crack. There's obviously no point in trying to reason with you right now, especially with all these clowns offering up their useless advice. Honestly, it seems like the more I try and talk sense into you, the more single-minded they get about letting her out. So yes, I'm done trying to argue. Would you look at that? We won. Take it however you will. The interior of the cabin is long and dark, a single narrow hallway stretching far into the distance. Curtains billow out from tall windows on either side, obscuring the path forward, fluttering helplessly as opposing gusts of wind rush into the building, clashing and joining and driving everything forward. The only furniture of note is... that's strange. What's strange? Is it the mirror? The mirror? No, there isn't a mirror. What's strange is that there isn't much of anything in here at all, aside from the curtains. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade?
Of course there isn't a mirror. There wasn't one last time either, so why would it be there this time?
I suppose the only way to go is forward. So forward we will go. Blade or not, it doesn't really matter, does it? If you're asking what's at the end of the hallway, it's the way to the basement.
Are you saying there isn't a door? Are you saying that at the end of the hallway there's just an opening again?
He didn't say door, did he? No, I didn't say door, because there isn't a door, it's just an opening.
It's just like last time, isn't it? Only instead of a visible empty void, there's an invisible one. For all we know, she could be standing right there behind the mirror. For all we know, she's going to jump out at us, and there's nothing we can do to stop her.
Let me assure you that there's nothing there. Nothing is going to jump out at you, and certainly not the princess.
The princess is in the basement. You slowly make your way towards the gaping maw that awaits you. Your fraying nerves buzz with trepidation, the chill wind raising your hackles as it gently pushes you forward towards the darkness at the end of the hallway. You can't shake the feeling that you're being watched. Oh, do we? Do we feel like we're being watched? I hadn't noticed. At least you're admitting to it now. You stop as you reach the end of the hallway, I presume in front of whatever mirror isn't actually there. I hate that I know what's about to happen. Knowing makes it so much worse. You reach your arm forward into the pitch black of the opening. Oh, that was a close one. All that stress and lead up for nothing.
Hopelessly staring into the void. I'm glad I made a lasting impression.
You feel something long and frigid coil around your ankle. Your heart skips a beat, standing in muted shock for one long, frozen moment. Your bones snap. Icy pain radiates up from the break, a deep cold flooding your veins as your legs, numb with the shock of it, collapse, and you collapse with them. You're met with the terrifying visage of the princess. Her hand grips your leg in a steel vice, her grin carved jagged from ear to ear, crowded with far too many long and crooked teeth.
You killed me last time, and that was after you tried to lock me away forever. I was so close to freedom, but then you took my body away from me. So now, I'm going to take yours, and I'm going to walk it out of here. And you get to watch me do it, completely helpless, just like you left me.
Okay, maybe letting her in isn't the best idea. She clearly hates us. And what's your point? I thought you wanted to get out of here. This is a way out, and it's different. We might as well take it. Yeah, but not like this. She's going to make it hurt. Then turn off the part of you that feels things. Oh, like it's that easy? It is. Pain is just another sensation. If you can tolerate joy, you can tolerate pain. Except that pain hurts. Yes, that's what it does. That's the definition. Do we need to explain to you why pain is bad? You need to explain to yourself why it isn't.
You locked me in a basement and then you killed me. Oh, we're past the point of compromise. I'm taking your body, and there's nothing you can do to stop me.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ego is all about perspective. After all you've done, why would I ever care about what you think of me? Enough talking. We'll have plenty of time for chit-chat once this place is far behind us.
You remain pinned to the floor of the long hallway as the rest of the princess's body emerges. her proportions all wrong, limbs bent and curling, moving in ways that defy your understanding. Her torso stretches until her face is practically touching yours, her neck cracking audibly as she twists to look at you from a fresh angle.
Are you sure you can't do anything to help us? Can't you, manifest a rock right on top of her head? And crush you along with her? Not that I even can manifest a rock. Besides, I thought you all wanted to free the princess. Not like this. You don't even have a weapon, so I'm afraid you're out of luck, which unfortunately means that I, and the rest of the world, are out of luck too. Okay, deep breath. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine.
Is it? Is there any conceivable way that this is fine?
Yeah, I'm right. This is fine. It's better than last time. At least our organs aren't failing. At least I can actually talk. It is fine. Everything is always fine. These consequences have no real impact on us outside of momentary discomfort. I'm sure we'll be moving on again soon enough.
Your vision fades as she tears open the membrane of your soul. You're awake, eyes once again fixed on the long hallway, your vision swimming as the princess's command reverberates inside your skull. Her voice is all-encompassing. You feel...
It's so cramped in here. Like there's some sort of growth trying to push us all out.
I know. You rise to your feet, though the pain in your ankle is blinding. Your body slumps against the wall, desperately leaning into it for support.
It's rather rude to show up in somebody else's body and boss it around like this.
It is rude to lock someone away in the dark spaces forever. It is rude to leave someone to rot.
We were gonna let you out of here. That's the whole reason we marched all the way back up to the cabin.
Were we?
I was.
I know you were, but you were going to do it for the wrong reasons.
And what reasons are those supposed to be? Nobody should be able to be judge, jury, and executioner.
Weren't you all of those things for me? I can grasp the shape of everything you think you feel. You think you were numb, but you are hopeless and paranoid. You are afraid of me. And I don't feel regret because the recesses of your soul. There is not a drop of sympathy to be found.
We weren't always like this. I've always been like this.
All I'm doing is reading what you've sown.
We don't have to let her out. I've been storing up a little bit of will since she forced her way in here. Take it and throw us all into the basement. It's better than giving her what she wants.
You wouldn't dare. Move now.
Your body, still slumped against the wall, trapped between the princess's overwhelming will and the blinding pain of your splintered ankle, takes an excruciating step towards the cabin door. The movement is stiff, your body reduced to a marionette, pulled reluctantly along by your strings.
It's not that bad. The pain feels good. Because I know you feel it too.
In a single moment of overwhelming willpower, you tear your body from the wall and hurl it towards the gaping abyss.
I won't let you do this.
Capillaries burst and muscle fibers tear as you and the princess struggle over the reins of your body. One foot planted firmly on the edge where the floor ends, and the nothing begins.
We're putting in everything we have. You're not. You're thinking too much about how she's hurting us. You're thinking too much about your body.
Yes, it's just a body now. But I can do so many terrible things to you.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Next, you throw everything you have against her and manage, for one brief moment, to overpower the princess's hold on your body. But that moment was all you needed. Your foot slips a few inches, and you collapse forward, the darkness swallowing you whole.
Why do you hate me?
Her thought slips through you, unheeded, as you fall, and fall, and fall. We did it! We actually did it!
Yes, we've really shown them all, haven't we? I don't think this qualifies as saving the world, but at least you didn't ruin it. What happens now? But I want to know what he thinks happens now.
Why? What do you know that you're not telling us?
You laugh. Go on. It's just you and you and you and me. Idiot. What is happening to me?
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final. It's calling us. And not in a good way.
Ignore the cowards. You have to look.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same. My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work is done. As easily as you can stand to be you, You are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit, even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul. It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? It says that your heart is gentle, that even in the darkness you are guided by compassion. I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
You're on a path in the woods, and you're here to slay her. If you don't, that's the spirit. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Oh, it's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something? That isn't a good idea. Just drop the knife, and maybe the two of us can talk things out.
She's right, we shouldn't. We should just drop the blade. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with...
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about...
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship. I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me? And yet, you hesitated the moment you saw me. And you dropped your knife. If killing me was really that important, you'd have a little more gumption, don't you think? So, someone put you up to this, right? And whoever it is, it's probably the same someone who shoved me into this dark pit and chained me to a wall.
That's a fair question. Who chained her in this basement, and if she's so dangerous, how did they manage to trap her? And why have we been left to do their dirty work? Don't give away the game, and don't let her distract you. That's exactly what she wants.
I'm right, aren't I? So who put you up to this?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't... well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting. She is. I'm sure of it.
Do you? You're lying.
How does she know that?
Don't think that just because I'm the one in chains, it means you have a right to interrogate me. Too long.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her. She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here. Oh, you have to be kidding me. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done. You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound.
Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye.
How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me. Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect.
Stop it. Stop resisting me. I am trying to get you out of here alive. The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck.
This is the end, isn't it?
I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. You're here to slay her. If you don't,
You have already committed to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
my tricks. What on earth are you talking about? We've just met for the first time.
Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes,
Need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or you died last time.
The absolute irony. Well, that's one way to put it, I guess. You really don't remember what happened last time, do you? You practically forced the princess to kill us.
That doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do, which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting. But this is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me?
Sure you are.
Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would?
What a conveniently ambiguous group of things for her to ruin. For all we know, the princess left the cabin and never saw another soul.
Oh, how I wish that were the case, but if the princess weren't a certain, inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here. And yet, here we are.
You're talking in circles.
No, I'm talking in facts. Just be quick about it. People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you.
You haven't given us an ounce of proof. You do know that, right?
What proof could you possibly ask for? Literally anything. Fine. Check your pockets. You put your hands in your pockets and pull out an envelope with the words, "The Evidence," written across the front. Within, you find a note in your handwriting. It reads, "The princess will end the world if you don't stop her. This is an immutable truth."
That doesn't prove anything. How do we know you didn't just forge our handwriting?
I wish I could tell you more, but there are some rules I have to follow for all our sakes. Please just trust that these rules are in place for a reason. I'm on your side.
You mean you're on our side as long as we do what you tell us to?
Exactly. Because you not doing what I tell you to do means you're putting the world at risk. I think we've got everything out of him we're gonna get. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here?
Yes, right. We're here because we're special.
Look, you're annoyed that you're here. I get it. I'm also annoyed that I'm here. But we're all in this together, and we're dealing with a bit of a ticking clock right now, so please just get to the cabin. told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate and not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding. Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything.
Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to.
Did you just say wink out loud?
No, I didn't. Wink.
Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess. The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and say,
"Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone."
Very different.
Yes, but why? Did he change it? Or did it change all on its own? Maybe it's a different cabin entirely.
Now isn't that a novel thought? Maybe you haven't actually been here before. I hope this means you'll finally drop your ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. Don't get distracted by minor details. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall.
But there was a mirror a second ago.
And now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the... Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us?
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap.
So much for cutting her out of here.
Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting her out of here never should have been on the table.
Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
That was there last time too, wasn't it?
It was.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me? Yes, your intentions. You have a knife. What are you going to do with it? Why are you here? There isn't a keyhole in these shackles, so I'm afraid my only way out is surgical removal.
Is she forgetting about the shackle on her neck?
Or does she think she'd survive a beheading?
You're right. Maybe she's delusional. All the more reason not to trust her.
Unless she really could survive.
Though I suppose you could just be here to kill me. But I don't think that's in either of our best interests. I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
And why is that?
Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle, and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is?
And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it?
I don't know. Maybe it will.
He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate.
But what if he's telling the truth?
He isn't.
I am. Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next.
What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad?
Yes, it's bad.
Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time.
Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck. And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement.
Excuse me?
Yes?
Are we stuck here now?
Yes.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
What are we supposed to do now?
Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve.
That's horrible.
It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information.
Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch?
No, that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
Yep. Wait, I guess. Maybe something else will happen. Maybe not. Nope.
That's rude.
You and the princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for...
This is so boring.
There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing.
But there isn't. Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent.
At least the world is safe.
It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything.
But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there.
Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it.
How exactly does that work?
It just does.
But
Your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time, and after that, even more time passes again.
And let me guess, the cabin remains the same.
if time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work.
I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there, but then they get larger and larger.
I don't like small talk, remember?
Still rude.
You continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls.
That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks around us are starting to erode.
She hasn't starved.
I guess she hasn't.
Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Time continues to pass, and pass, and pass, until suddenly there are no walls. And then...
I think he's gone.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us. So this is the outside world. It's cold.
She's gone. Where did she go? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why? This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final.
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. I am curious to see what it means for us to know it. We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something, but nothing cannot exist on its own, and because of that, nothing can't exist. No, their minds are empty, existent, but constantly shifting into something new. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond? Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves. This one is determined, but also cautious. One that would rather let the world move around her than move it herself. She will make for a patient heart. Do not mourn her. She is exactly where she needs to be. One, whatever you bring me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular, a final multitude. These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contours of your heart. The only thing I want to see is what you choose for me when the thread is fully drawn. No, the point of awakening is to find out. The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement, you're here to slay her. If you Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end. I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists, or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right? I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her. then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
We're not going to go through with this, right?
She's a princess. We're supposed to ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The blade is your implement. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if...
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me. How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood... The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands.
Thank you.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship. Do you? So, you're not going to share? How pointless. If you want to talk, I'll talk. But this isn't talking. I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me?
Believe me.
And do you think asking me what to believe is going to suddenly make everything crystal clear? Let's not pretend that's going to happen. As far as you're concerned, and as far as they're concerned, I'm going to say whatever I have to get out of here. That's just the dynamic of our situation. Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here. Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through. A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to your jaw. It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured. Holy shit, that hurt! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around. You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can at least make sure that she won't make it out of here either. Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing right now. Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job. The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh.
The two of you fall to the floor.
This was fun.
The princess gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to wonder, do you really think this is the end?
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path, you're here to slay her.
You have already committed to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
I can assure you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. That's fine. It doesn't matter if he can hear us. The only thing that matters is marching up to that cabin and winning. That's the spirit. There's no point in squabbling when the real threat is just up that hill. Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least you died last time, which probably only happened
We did our best with the information we were given. And we did kill her. And yet you still died, didn't you? So congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making... What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened? Ugh, enough with the talking. We've got a fight to win. I couldn't agree more. The cabin and your destined confrontation with... Just be quick about it. She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given. Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job. Oh, this is maddening. Why do you keep asking questions? There's nothing wrong with getting the full picture of what's going on here. Sure there is. It's wasting time and energy that would be better spent fighting. I've told you everything you need to know. What else would we even need to know? We've got all the reason we need for a rematch. Exactly. The less you know about her, the better. Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin. A warning. Before you go in, she will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power.
Lying and cheating doesn't sound like her at all. Not that it matters. It's not like she can lie or cheat in the middle of a fight.
Are you sure about that?
The point of my warning wasn't to start an argument over what circumstances the princess is capable of lying in. It was to give you some broadly applicable advice. The princess will do and say whatever she thinks it will take to get her out of there. So don't trust her.
Crystal, let's just get on with it already.
The cabin is tighter than its exterior would suggest. Its cold stone walls press in on you, as if trying to forcefully direct you towards your destination. The only furniture of note is a black iron altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
See? Even the cabin has the right idea. Let's get moving.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. That's because there isn't a mirror. There's the altar, the blade sitting on the altar, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
You already wasted so much time in the woods. Who even cares if there's a mirror?
As do I. I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? Let you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look, but it was there a second ago.
And now it's gone, so all of us can stop arguing about it and get to fighting.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without...
Very different.
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, so focus up. The world is... The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a rough stone staircase, its walls pressing at your sides and tightening as you descend. The air seeping from below is heavy and oppressive, with an almost sulfuric odor to her fierce voice carries up the stairs.
Is that another challenger? Finally! It's been ages since I've had a good fight.
This isn't what she sounded like last time. Her voice is a little deeper, almost threatening.
Good. Sounds like my kind of princess.
As much as I appreciate the enthusiasm, just make sure you don't let your bloodlust get to your head. You need to stay focused and keep your wits about you. Remember, you're here to slay the princess, not to have a good fight. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, a large shackle leading from her wrist to the basement wall. Looks like she could rip those chains out of the wall without a second thought.
Oh, it's you again. I'd been hoping you'd find your way back here. Good to see that death doesn't stick for either of us. And you brought your little knife, too. Yes. I'm going to have fun breaking you into little pieces.
Okay, fine. Let's say for a moment I believe you. For all we know, whatever happened to you last time was just a fluke, and beyond that, do you know who doesn't remember anything that happened last time? Me. I don't remember what happened last time.
Are you okay?
Of course I'm not okay. As far as we're all concerned, the fate of my world is still very much on the line. Not all of us have the luxury of jumping over to a parallel universe the second we die.
Oh, I remember you all right. Best 3 minutes of my life. So, why don't we do it again?
See? She wants to fight us again. There's no reason for us to stand around talking.
You look exactly the same. What is there to unpack? I was dead and now I'm not, and the same goes for you. There. Unpacking done. Don't you get it? We've been given free rein to wail on each other. Forever.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
You haven't decided? We talked more than enough last time. Do you really have anything else to say? Or are you just stalling because you're scared I'm going to kill you? If you want to talk, I guess I can talk. But you should come a little closer first.
Blade held tight in your hand, you take a cautious step towards the princess. You stop a few feet short of her reach, her chains taut as she stares down at you. She's a lot bigger than I thought she was.
Why do you sound so scared? We can take her.
Well, what do you want? Because every second we waste talking is a second we could spend killing each other instead. Why wouldn't I want that? Why don't you want that? It felt good last time. It felt right. And it makes sense. I don't need to care, because I already know what I am. I've already found my purpose.
The princess flashes a sinister grin.
You.
Does she mean her purpose is killing us?
No, she means fighting us. She means both of us getting stronger through sheer pain and will, the fear of death no longer able to hold us back. Just start stabbing her already. I'm sick of all this anticipation. We're ready.
The world? If there's a world, I haven't seen it. There's you, and there's me, and there's the ground beneath our feet. Why would I care about ending something I've never seen? Free?
The princess glances down at her chains.
Oh, you mean these? They're just metal. They're nothing.
She steps forward, her bindings creaking under the pressure of her strength. And then they snap. It was only a matter of time, but she's loose.
Dear Lord. What do we do?
You took the blade. How about you use it?
Exactly. We do exactly what I've been telling you to do since the second we got here. We fight her, we kill her, we win.
What? Did you think you were safe standing right outside my grasp? The only reason I haven't drawn blood is because I want to make sure that your heart is in it. I don't like fighting someone with a weak spirit. But go ahead. Keep trying my patience. Sparring? That's just play fighting. It isn't real. What's real is when my flesh splits open. What's real is when you keep getting up until your legs can't hold you. What's real are the things we do to each other when the only options left are winning and dying. That is the only thing I'm interested in.
This path is already worn by travel and has been seen by one of my many eyes. You cannot walk it again.
Wait, what?
I woke up, didn't you? Ugh, I care, okay? I guess I just care differently than you. When I saw you come back down here, I thought you would understand. I thought that we would want the same thing. But all you've done is ask me annoying little questions. It's like you don't even want to enjoy being alive.
I wish you could hear me right now. I want to enjoy being alive. I want to fight.
You don't either. I know. You already told me. I like it. It's so cramped. Like the only way out of here is through each other.
That's right, not everything has to be so violent.
That's pathetic. I would never do that, and I hate that you even suggested it.
Finally ready to complete your destined task, you launch off the wet stone floor of the basement and catapult yourself headlong towards the princess.
Here we go. Let's make this count.
Oh, we'll make it count, all right.
As you bridge the gap, your blade slashes across the princess's chest, splitting skin and drawing a jagged line of bright red blood. But she's unfazed by your onslaught. Her expression barely changes as her fist collides with your ribs, cracking them like twigs and driving you right back down to the basement floor.
She almost looks disappointed in us. Why is she disappointed in us?
Oh, you don't actually get it, do you? That knife may be sharp, but you clearly don't want to kill me. It's not fun if you hesitate. It's not fun if you try to trick me and make me bleed out. It's only fun if you go straight for the heart. You need to put everything you have into seeing me dead. Or what's the point? So don't be afraid. Don't hesitate. Kill me.
Don't let her get in your head. Reincarnation or not, this world needs you to win.
She's huge, but that probably means she's slower than us. Take it slow, think it through, and don't panic. Bleeding her out is our best course of action.
Don't listen to them. She understands something that they don't. The only way to win, the only way out of this is through her.
You push yourself off the ground and attack the princess, trying to bait an opening. You do your best to outplay her, slashing out and leaving red cuts in the tattered remains of her white dress. But you have little room to maneuver. For every glancing blow you manage to land, she slams you against the wall in retaliation, each impact threatening to be the last.
This weak little dance isn't working. Just toughen up and overpower her.
She's throwing us around like a ragdoll. I think overpowering her is a little out of the question.
Did you think you could stop me with a few cuts? All this dancing around is doing nothing but annoying me. I own this place, and I own you.
The princess's arm shoots forward, her palm wrapping around your head, fingers gripping your skull.
How disappointing.
She squeezes, the pressure unbearable as her fingers dig into your scalp. The last thing you hear is the unsettling crack of your skull. Everything goes dark, and you die.
You're on a path in the wood. If you weren't so damned afraid of what she'd do to you, we wouldn't have died back there.
Fear is good. Fear keeps us alive. We died because you didn't have enough of it.
So what? You'd have us cower in a corner?
No, but that place suits her better than it suits us. She's big. We can't hope to find holes and openings down there. We need more room if we're going to survive. Are you suggesting luring her into the woods? Do you have any idea how dangerous that would be? If you lose sight of her, if she manages to slip away, that's it. Game over for everyone. Yourself,
are you not challenging us on all the looping?
Have you known about it the whole time? Are you the same one we've been talking to since the beginning?
Sorry to disappoint what I'm sure must feel like a grand revelation, but that's not what's going on here. We've never met. It doesn't matter. We could go in circles forever. I don't like staying still for too long. Let's get to the cabin, see this through. It's good to know that at least one of you is still capable of reason. We may have the same destination, but we're not the same. You are still an other, and I don't trust you. It's evidence of one of many ticking clocks. You can't let her spread any further. Things are always changing. She changed, the cabin changed, we've changed. Why wouldn't the woods change too? Because they're not supposed to have changed. This is supposed to be a path in the woods. If it's not, it means something's gone horribly wrong. Deserter. Turning our back to her could be a mistake. Are you serious? Fine, you walk away from the cabin. We'll see how that goes for you.
Wait, something isn't right. Can you still hear me? Everything is getting fuzzy. What's going on? Where are we? A dark place. Thoughts like us shouldn't be here.
I told you we shouldn't have come here. I told you. But did you listen? No.
You're on up. You're here to. Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? I mean, maybe some. You make your way up the short path.
We're not going to go through with this, right?
Ignore him. He doesn't. The interior of the cabin, the blade is your imp. You take the blade. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing her voice carries.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous.
Don't let it fool you. It's all.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steal.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, so you should just drop it.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate, I'm positive.
I'm not. But we'll keep our eyes peeled. If she has a weapon, she'll have to draw it before she...
Hesitating? Why don't you drop the knife and the two of us can be civilized with each other?
You charge the princess, blade in hand, but unfortunately your earlier suspicions proved correct. A blade of her own slips down her sleeve and catches you in the neck. Blood sprays from the cut, your severed carotid artery painting the princess with strokes of red. You'd better finish your task quickly before you run out of... With the last bit of your will, you press forward, sinking the blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh.
The two of you collapse on the floor together, rapidly bleeding out.
Somehow, I thought this would turn out a little differently. But I wonder, do you really think that this was enough to stop me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path, you're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I can assure you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe...
This whole thing's a crock of shit. She's just going to pull a knife out of...
Stabbed to death? Well, you won't have to worry about that. The princess is unarmed.
Yeah, that's exactly what you told us last time. When we asked you if you were sure she didn't have a weapon on her, you said you were positive she didn't. But it turns out she did, because when we charged her, she started stabbing us.
Calm down. I assure you she has no weapons. So there's no reason to fear her. You were made for this job. A warning. Before you go in, she will lie, she will cheat.
He couldn't be more on the money. But we're really doing this, aren't we? I'd say you're lost, but I'm stuck here with you.
We know what to look out for this time. We know to be careful. Just stay focused and you'll be fine.
The interior of the cabin is a jagged mess of warped wood and broken boards, their splintered edges as uninviting as shattered glass. The only furniture of note is a pointed table. You take the blade from the table.
It feels a bit better to have a weapon in our hands. Let's make her hurt for what she's done to us.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall.
But there was a mirror.
Now it's gone. Yet another thing in here playing tricks on us. I hate this place.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look as if they've been torn from their source and violently jammed into the wall. The air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it, like the smell of fresh blood. And you can hear what sounds like the rhythmic scraping of metal coming from down below.
That's right, scraping. I told you she has something.
That sound could be anything. It's probably just her chains dragging across the floor. I am begging you to get out of your head. Her grating voice carries up the stairs.
I hope you've come to rescue me. I've been stuck down here forever.
There is something so wrong with that voice.
Yeah, she thinks she's better than us, like she doesn't even have to put on an act this time.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, her sharp eyes following you from across the room.
I wonder if she remembers us.
Finally, somebody! Quick, get me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
Come on now, we're not falling for that, are we? She's trying to trick us, but she can't hide that threatening edge to her voice. She just wants us to get close, to let our guard down.
If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why you're here. You are armed, after all.
What are you waiting for? You are here to rescue me, right? wouldn't stab you. I am just a sweet, innocent princess trapped here for no reason. And you are a brave knight who's supposed to walk up to not stabbing distance to help me.
I have absolutely zero doubts that she is going to stab us if we get close to her.
She certainly feels threatening.
Just because she's acting like she's going to stab you doesn't mean she has the means to actually do it. But you know who is armed? You. So stop second-guessing yourself and do your job.
But I'm nervous.
All the more reason to jump into the deep end and deal with her right now before you waste any more time getting stuck in your head.
Oh, you don't. Okay, I see. I have an idea. You should come over here and stare directly at the chains. You won't be able to find a key if you don't know what it's supposed to look like, so you better come right within close staring distance just to be sure.
How many more times does she have to vaguely threaten you before you finally decide you're ready to deal with her? We're clearly still figuring out our angle. We don't have the luxury of watching this from a distance. Oh, I'm sorry, do you think I'm in a position of luxury right now?
You're acting like you are.
My entire world is at risk. Then maybe you should behave with a little more humility. A bit of self-deprecation would go a long way. No, I have my dignity. Fine, then we'll continue to treat you exactly how you deserve to be treated.
But if we killed each other, then why are we here, right now? Both of us normal and unstabbed.
I do have to hand it to her, that's a very good question, and it's one with a simple answer. You haven't slain her yet. So how about you get moving? Last time? What are you talking about? Ugh, it's like the two of you are working together on this. Aren't you listening to her? She's obviously lying through her teeth.
I'm terrible at spotting lies, and even I can tell something's up here. We can't be the only ones that looped back to the start. Someone else has to remember, right?
Yes, something is obviously up, and we can all tell that she's lying. The thing she's lying about is how dangerous she is, not dimension hopping or time travel or whatever it is you think you're doing.
That doesn't sound like me.
I think I've said my piece at this point.
I think we all have. But if you want to keep exhausting your questions, it beats getting stabbed to death.
It's boring if you leave.
She's bored? That's absurd. She doesn't get to be bored. Not in a way that matters. She's a prisoner. Shit. In a sudden burst of movement, the princess leaps towards you, a blade erupting from her free arm, her wrist limp and empty from the violent expulsion. Huh. So I guess she did have a knife of her own after all. How conciliatory of you. We appreciate it, really. Now what are we going to do? At least we're safe here. She's still in chains. And those chains stop her from continuing her advance, at least for a moment. She looks down at them with something between annoyance and confusion. And then she slices through her arm. Okay, maybe we aren't safe here. She doesn't even hesitate before darting towards you with a terrifying speed you can't hope to outpace. Ah, shit. Okay, she's down an arm and we still have a weapon. I guess we'll have to use it. And use it you do. But unfortunately for you, and for the entire world, you are horribly outmatched. You keep pace with her for a single brief and wordless exchange before she severs your hand and, with it, your only line of defence. She's even better at this than she was last time. Bloody cheater.
I'm going to kill you now.
And with a squelch, she does just that. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods.
No, fuck that. If we're gonna have to keep doing this over and over and over again, we're not starting in that goddamn woods every time. We're starting in the fucking cabin.
You're what? The interior of the cabin is sharp, a constricting mess of curved and battered sheet metal pushing you towards... Wait, excuse me? What just happened? What did you just do? I feel dizzy.
Oh ho ho ho! I guess I took us to the cabin, didn't I? Isn't that interesting? Who holds the cards now?
The circle's getting smaller and smaller. Running isn't an option anymore. We have to... Yeah, but for whom? Someone or something is out there pulling the strings and we're all just puppets until we can figure out how to see them.
But what if that someone is us, eh? Wouldn't that be neat? If we were the ones pulling the strings, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have died twice already.
Great, so obviously you've already been here. How many times?
This is our third?
No wonder things have fallen apart. You do realise that every time you fail, she escapes and an entire world is damned to destruction, right?
That can't be right, that's too much responsibility.
It's only too much responsibility if these worlds are real. Let's just stay focused, shall we? The only furniture of note is a bent metal table, a pristine blade perched.
We take it.
Okay, sure, you take the blade before letting me finish telling you it's there. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. This feels right. We just have to keep our senses sharp.
That's right, we've got to be able to win eventually.
What if winning is the wrong move? It isn't. I don't care whether you trust me or not, but at least trust that defeating the person who has apparently killed you twice already is a good idea.
I'd love to get started just as much as you would, but how are we supposed to get down there?
You walk through the door. You do know what doors are, right?
But there isn't a door, it's just that mirror again.
There isn't a mirror. You only messed things up, didn't you? It's like you can't even see reality anymore. We can see our reality just fine. Why should we trust his? I can feel the air coming up from behind it, stinking of iron and steel. He might be right. Could be a trick. If our other senses can't feel it, then we can't trust it. You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You really must think you're looking at a mirror. Well, it doesn't exist. Just reach forward and open it.
Let's just fumble for the handle and be done with it. I don't care what we look like. I care about getting to the end of this mess.
You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. It creaks open.
And the mirror's gone. How surprising.
It was never there. Just an illusion.
It feels like it's hiding something from us. It's part of the big picture. I just know it. That's why it's being kept from us.
Guess it's time for us to see her again.
Just stay focused and you'll be fine. You step forward, but you don't get a chance to linger on the basement stairs. They are smooth and flat and metallic, an unintentional and unfortunately slippery ramp that quickly sends you skittering to the bottom.
Your body tumbles onto the basement floor and the form of the princess comes into view, standing at a distance. She gives you a wry smile.
Hi, it looks like you don't have a way out, so I'm not going to play dumb anymore. But don't worry about how bad you did last time. That's part of the fun.
She's toying with us. She's acting like she already knows she's won. Thinking about dying makes us as good as dead. The only thing that matters is survival. Actually, does survival matter? We've died twice and nothing bad has come of it. We just need to find a way to win once. Nothing bad has come of it yet. Plenty bad has come of it. You've left at least one entire world to ruin. The people there mattered. The past isn't real. There's only here and now. Your internal bickering is cut short by the wet sound of slicing meat. From the princess's arms erupt twin blades glistening with her blood, the empty flesh of her arms flopping at her elbows like torn sleeves. The chain clatters to the floor. She's loose, and she is coming for you.
You're going to make me walk over to you, aren't you?
Shit. She's coming for us and I'm out of ideas. Yeah, sure, why the hell not? Let's see if we can turn off the part of us that feels things. If we can't feel things, then how are we supposed to know what's true? You could always just trust what I tell you. Ha! No. Pain is good. It's how we stay alive. Nah, I'm sick of pain. Yeah, this whole thing would be a lot more tolerable if it didn't hurt so much.
Sure thing. I love a challenge. I bet I can hurt you so much.
The princess closes the distance and we dodge. And you dodge.
Oh, you're fast. But let's see how fast you really are.
You dodge the princess's blows for as long as you can, sustaining only nicks and cuts as you attempt to avoid her blades. But it isn't long before you're winded, your feet a little slower, your gait a little clumsier. That's all the opening she needs. She skewers you.
Gotcha.
And? Does it hurt? No. Oh, a new one of us. I thought that only happens when we die. Did we die? You're on a... No, you're in a... Where the hell are you? We're dead, aren't we? We're dead. How long have we been dead? Have we been dead the whole time? If we didn't realize we were dead, then we made progress. Good job. Stop saying dead, all of you. We might have died a second ago, but right now we're extremely not dead. This is all horribly wrong. How many times have you been here?
this is for.
No wonder everything's such a mess. This wasn't supposed to go past 1.
I wonder what you're going to do next. You're so full of ideas, and I love that.
But I guess we don't have time to talk about things before the princess advances. Okay, whatever we do gets us another us. Let's see how many we can stack. There's got to be a point where it makes us better than her.
As long as we keep moving. Why not? It's not like dying again and again is doing us any harm. Let's see how far this little mind hole goes.
It's going to get so loud in here. How are we going to keep it all straight?
Come on, show me something new.
Compliment her on those gleaming blades. There's nothing better than a capable woman.
She skewers you.
You're cute.
Well, there's more of us. Let's see if that helps.
We just have to hit her harder.
She skewers you.
You'll have to be trickier than that.
Then you skewer yourself.
I thought we both understood that dying doesn't get you anywhere.
Huh, that didn't do much of anything. We're tougher than I thought.
What's the point? It's all the same. She skewers you.
Oh, don't give up on me just yet. You gotta keep going.
It doesn't matter how many times this takes, we can't give up.
Okay, let's go again.
Let's appeal to her better nature. We haven't tried that. I'm sure she'll listen to reason.
She skewers you.
See? We're getting better.
Okay, yeah. That was a good one.
None of this is working. Think.
She skewers you.
We're getting close to something, can't you feel it?
What? You're right. One last time, that's all we need. And then everything goes dark, and you die.
Your Honor, don't lose your head. We're in a cabin and we'll take it from here.
Everything feels like it finally fits, doesn't it? We're up here, which is different, and different is good.
Ho-ho! What if we throw it out the window?
Over my dead body.
That won't be very hard. We've died a lot. But I can't say I mind it.
Besides, what better way to die so very many times than at the sharp hands of a beautiful woman?
I'm sure I can think of a better way to die.
They're all the same, really.
How about we stop thinking about horrible ways to die? I don't want us to accidentally manifest anything. The only thing we're gonna manifest is finally ending up on top. There are entirely too many of you. How many times have you been here? This isn't good. This is... How about you stick to describing things, and we'll stick to doing them?
Yeah, leave it to the pros. We'll notch up that win in no time.
Narrator, we heroically stride through the door and towards our destined final encounter with our star-crossed lover.
Fine by me. You walk to the door and onto the basement stairs, only...
It's more of a slide. We know. Fine, I'll just shut up then and speed this whole thing along. Are you sure you don't want me to describe the stairs, or this room, or anything? It feels like I'm hardly a part of this. Don't care, just want to win. Fine, you make your way to the basement, where the princess awaits you.
You know, this last time I killed you, and you didn't pop right back up again? I thought I'd actually done it. I thought I'd cut you into so many pieces you just weren't able to stitch yourself back together. But I guess we're not done. That's okay with me. It's good even. I like that. I got something ready for you while you were gone. Do you want to see it? I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm just going to show you. It's worth it though. Just you wait. And not for very long, because I'm...
Are you going to say what she does? Do you want me to talk now? Well, yeah, she says she has something new. I want to hear about the new thing. Yeah, me too. I think I speak for all of us when I say that I would like to hear you describe her new thing. Really? Okay then.
Here we go. Now.
The princess's skin twists, splitting into red blooms of raw meat as it stretches and tears. And then it erupts. She becomes a wave of blood and viscera, pieces of her splattering against the walls. All that remains in the center of the room is a skeleton of blades. A heart beats furiously in its cage of a chest.
Are you ready for what comes next?
Holy shit! She's gorgeous. Absolutely divine.
Yes, behold, the perfect woman.
Do you think we can throw her out the window? That looked painful.
How is she still alive?
Heart's still beating, that's all she needs.
This is fake. This is all fake. That's all just made up.
She doesn't even have a back anymore. How are we supposed to stab her in it? This is all just a sick joke. I hate existing. We're screwed. I quit. I'm done. Forget it. All right, what just happened? It's so quiet.
Something feels different about you. It almost makes me feel different. Like I should actually take this seriously for once. You're incredible.
I think you know what I am. I'm not a part of you. But that's all a matter of perspective, isn't it? From one vantage point I must seem wholly foreign, but from another, well, all the versions of me that have existed have collectively heard your every thought and driven your every action. If that isn't being part of you, then what is? You were, and it was by both necessity and design. This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Any time you failed, any time you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon, and then it won't be able to work like that anymore. Because among other things, she is death itself. To rid the world of suffering, to save untold trillions from being lost forever to the cosmic wind, she must be destroyed. And despite how far you've fallen, you will still have a chance to fulfill your purpose once I'm gone. You're the long quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death. I do. The people out there are real. No matter what you do to them, no matter what you enable, I want you to remember that. Oh, I'm nothing like you. I am an echo, likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me. She is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die, for she becomes that which others perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can. As you are now, you won't be able to will her into anything. You don't work the way a living being does. Not anymore. And as you were before, you couldn't be trusted with the knowledge of what she is. No one could be trusted with that knowledge. Intrusive thoughts have a way of creeping in and ruining everything. It's why I had to die. Yes, you will. but it will all be worth it. When I broke the cycle, I made sure that the tear was rough. You carry a part of what should be her, and she carries a part of what should be you. Things won't be as they are now, but they won't be nothing either. Besides, anything is better than oblivion. In the end, nobody wants to leave. I've said my piece, and my time is up. It's like I said, I'm just an echo, and echoes always fade away.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly. Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am. Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind. Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation? Of course I have a say in all of this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts. If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict. Even as your eyes begin to open, you still hold on to the notions of is and is not. of beginning and end. Pitch black islands in the blinding light of the infinite. There is nothing to resolve, nothing restraining us but us. Nothing brings me greater joy than to hear those words. The final peace lies with you. I love you. Everything, just like it always has been, and just like it always will be.